For the first time in what feels like absolutely forever, I'm excited about Call of Duty Zombies. Since Vanguard launched, Zombies has just been completely boring to me. Like, I didn't enjoy Duranfang at all. I know they tried to save things by adding the round-based objective, but that wasn't that much fun because there's still not many zombie types. There's no fun wonder weapons or anything like that. It was still pretty boring. And then Terra Maledicta did start an Easter egg, but the Easter egg was just boring. It was really, really simple to do. It wasn't like a spectacle or anything like that. You didn't get cool cutscenes or anything. It just felt like it was really rushed and pointless. Treyarch sort of acknowledged this. They said that, okay, we know you want a round-based map, so we're going to go away. There's not going to be any zombies content for a while. And then when we come back, we're going to re-release Shi No Numa, but it's going to be an expanded version, it's going to be a reworked version, and it's going to come sometime after Season 3. When they said that, I was fully expecting it to be maybe Season 4 reloaded, maybe even Season 5, but nope, they're bringing it out the first day of Season 4, so June 22nd, the same day as that surprise Warzone map's releasing. We're also getting a new Zombies map, and it's a new proper round-based map. Now, I say new, but obviously Shi No Numa isn't a new map. It's like the third map that was ever released for Call of Duty Zombies. It makes a lot of sense that they would start with this because there was bits of Shi No Numa, the whole sort of starting building was already created for Call of Duty Vanguard, so they've got it in the engine, they've got all those assets already made. So it makes sense that this would maybe be an easier one to do. It also kind of makes sense symbolically because Shi No Numa was like almost the start of what we think of when we think of zombies, where you have things like the dog round, you have the mystery box teleporting around, you have some things that look like the beginnings of the Easter eggs that we got used to. There isn't a proper Easter egg in Shi No Numa, but there's some little things that are kind of interesting in it. Now, in this video, before someone asks, no, this isn't the new Call of Duty Vanguard Shi No Numa, I didn't get to play it earlier or anything like that. This is just some footage from Black Ops 3, so Zombies Chronicles on that, they added Shi No Numa in, that's why there's all futuristic guns and stuff. I'm fully expecting the new Shi No Numa to be using all of the guns and everything from Vanguard, but it'll be interesting to see what else they bring over from the gameplay. A lot of the things that they changed for the Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies gameplay won't really work in a round-based map. So the biggest thing is that they wanted to push this idea of it being a bit like a roguelike. That you would go through the portals, you would complete an objective, and you would get one of these hearts, then you would come back and choose how to spend that heart to upgrade your character. Now, if we're not going through portals, are we even going to be getting the hearts at all? I suppose they could just give you one every round, but then it seems like it'd be a bit weird because you'd be getting absolutely loads of them at the beginning. That might be a bit too much. Or are they just going to ditch it and go back to something that's a bit more like how Black Ops Cold War worked, where you're just going through rounds and then you're gaining essence and you choose what you're going to spend the essence on, you know, whether you're upgrading your weapons, maybe you'll have some other resources to get armor and things like that. Maybe they'll just go back to that system. I'd be perfectly happy with that. I loved the Black Ops Cold War systems. I thought in terms of gameplay it was really good. It made a lot of sense, like it was clear to see how you were going to upgrade, how you were going to get more powerful, and you had choices, especially when they had the Rampage Inducer thing. I think that's what it was called. The thing that made zombies a lot harder at the beginning. You had ways to make it more challenging from the start, because one of my big criticisms of Call of Duty Vanguard Zombies was that it was insanely easy for a very long time, like to the point where you didn't have to think at all. And then it got quite difficult all of a sudden, and then it never got more difficult after that. So as long as you could get over that first difficulty spike, you could just play the game forever without much of a challenge at all. And I've always thought that zombies should be a bit more of like a survival thing, that it should be something challenging, it should be something that while players can enjoy themselves, they shouldn't have to play for like 40 minutes, 50 minutes before they get to the point where it's got any challenge at all. In terms of Easter eggs, obviously I'm really hopeful that they're going to have some kind of proper Easter egg in this. Really, if I'm talking about my dream situation for Shi No Numa, what I would like them to have is a story quest, which everyone can do, and I've always thought that was a really good thing that Black Ops Cold War did, that anyone could have a go at those story quests, anyone could work out a lot of them just with their friends. They don't need to use a guide in order to be able to get to the cutscenes, get to the end of the story. I always thought that was kind of stupid in Call of Duty Zombies, how most of the story was kind of locked behind really confusing things that you could almost never work out yourself, and so you had to use a guide in order to be able to work out how to just see the story. I like the fact that in Black Ops Cold War it's a bit simpler, especially D-Machine. I thought D-Machine did it perfectly, where there was nothing too difficult to work out. It was a lot of fun, there was a bit of challenge, but you got to see the story from beginning to end without relying on any kind of guide. then I'd like to see them do a proper Easter egg, because we haven't really had Easter eggs for a long while, or at least main Easter egg quests, because the Easter eggs were just story quests. They told you what to do. It'd be fun if there was also some sort of Easter egg quest, something a lot more confusing, maybe like kind of how World War II Zombies had that idea of having the easy Easter egg quest and a difficult Easter egg quest. That would be super cool, and then maybe that could have a bit sort of deeper lore, maybe tie it back to Richterfern and what was going on at the Rising Sun facility. That could be really cool too. And then obviously have a bunch of side Easter eggs, just fun little things, maybe keep on doing things with, you know, the rabbit, having some extra little callbacks to Black Ops Cold War and stuff like that, and some things that just give you some fun powers. I would absolutely love it if there was something that gave you some kind of shoes that let you run through the mud without slowing down. That would be amazing. In terms of the really basic mechanics, like, do we have the artifacts? Are we still talking to these demons, these other dimensional entities, whatever you want to call them? That's where we start getting into the lore of this, and I'm a bit split on how this is going to go. They could just carry on with the Vanguard story, that we could still just be trying to find pages of that tomb and still trying to deal with Cortex and all of that sort of thing. That's entirely possible. We did see in Shi No Numa that there were some of these pages that we've never been able to access in Duranfang, so maybe we're going to be going back to Shi No Numa to try and unlock those. That's a possibility. I kind of hope that's not what they're doing, because I just want them to completely ditch Duranfang and Terra Maledicta and forget that it ever happened. What I would personally prefer is if we went back to the end of the Black Ops Cold War story, where right at the end of the cutscene, right for the end of Forsaken, which was the last map for that, we saw Peck in the Pacific looking for someone, looking for, he said, some old friends. So maybe he was going to the Pacific, he's going to turn up here, and then we'll just be able to carry on the Black Ops Cold War story and forget that Vanguard ever happened, to be honest. If they did that, we could just reword everything, so we're forgetting about artifacts. We could go back to the field upgrade system. Maybe we'd even be going back to getting crystals to sort of slowly power up our characters over time. I thought that was a kind of fun system. While it was obviously annoying if you wanted to get a friend into it and they didn't have any powers, it was never that much of a barrier. Like, we did some of the maps with Jack Frags came to help, and he didn't have any of the crystals or anything like that, but it didn't really stop us from being able to complete anything. So this is where I want to hear what you think. Do you want it just to carry on the story of Black Ops Cold War and carry on all of those gameplay systems and everything, or do you think they should persist with Vanguard? Do you think they should persist with the idea of the artifacts and try to make that work with the new round-based mode? What do you think they're going to do with hearts in that case? Do you think we're still going to have the Altar of Covenants and all of that kind of thing? Do you have high hopes for this? Like, I don't really ever have an idea of what the zombies community overall thinks about this stuff, so let me know in the comments. Do you think this is going to be successful? Are you glad that they're doing this? Or do you think that this is just going to be another thing like Duranfang and Terra Maledicta, where it's kind of boring, it feels rushed, and it doesn't really work? Let me know in the comments. I'll be super interested to hear from you, and if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Obviously, I will be streaming this map when it goes live. If it goes live at the same time as the Warzone map, I'll probably be doing that first, because I'm hoping there's a new Warzone Easter egg. But then at some point during that stream, or maybe a little bit later that evening, I'll be coming into the Zombies map to try and do this Easter egg too. So don't forget to like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.